Hey guys, before we get started with this study, I want to give a big shout out to Tom Fox's or Tom Fox Draws Anatomy for Artists Drawing Form and Pose to his book here. It is amazing. It is fantastic. I love this book. This book is kind of like my drawing Bible. It teaches you so much about form and anatomy and how the function or excuse me, the function follows form. It is a brilliant book. I recommend every every single solitary artist picks it up. It is an awesome book, awesome illustrations. Um, to be honest with you, that's where most of my studies here are coming from. But I just really want to shout out this book um, because I really think it's valuable in that every single artist should pick it up and buy it and use it, copy it, understand it. It is amazing. It has changed my whole understanding of how the human body works, how to translate the human form. It is a beautiful book, beautiful illustrations. Just buy it, guys. Buy it. Buy it. Please buy it. It's amazing. Bye. All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to start a video now. Okay. Bye. All right, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at a effective design for the pelvic bone. This is not going to be too anatomically intense. I simply want to show how you can turn a cuboid form into an effective way to translate the pelvic bone area. The pelvic bone area is one of the three main masses of the human body. It provides an excellent landmark when studying proportions. So when kind of looking at proportions, you should be able to comfortably cover your groin with your hands. Typically the end of your your pelvic or pubic bone rather is at your fingertips when doing that. So that's how you can tell your proportions are accurate. Just to kind of go go a little bit more into that. I'm not going to keep you too long, I promise. Um, your humerus bone, which is your upper arm there, is going to go from your shoulder or your clavicle all the way down to your rib cage, and then the other half of your arm, your lower half there, is going to go all the way down, including your hands, all the way down to the end of your groin area. So that's how it can kind of help you create these landmarks with your figure studies. Now, I really like to start with a basic cube design. It is an excellent starting point to connect and the lower half of the body with the upper half of the body. The design of the pelvic bone needs to provide stability for the torso and legs. The focusing on simply carving off the bottom half or the bottom corners rather of your cuboid form, so that way we will at least have lateral motion and we won't get overwhelmed with too much of the cutting and carving of the pelvic bone. We're going to do that later in this video. Anywho, never really miss out on the opportunity to study your not only your proportions but your perspective as well when doing your anatomical studies. This is an excellent opportunity to essentially uh, speed run your improvement, right? If you're learning proportions, anatomy, and perspective, and you're like putting that all into your practice whenever you're practicing, then you're going to improve that much faster, and that is a huge benefit when designing, in my opinion, when designing the human body in this kind of way, right? Because you're using basic form, and you are um, uh, relying upon perspective to understand how that form supposed to look in 3D space. And it makes your figures very dynamic. So that's pretty much my case for drawing like this geometrically. Um, and again, this is not anything new, right? People should just draw like this, in my opinion, but it's not really anything new. A lot of people teach this. Proco teaches this. Um, yeah, it's not. I also kind of got a little sidetracked with this sort of study. I did a character of mine. I first kind of laid down the uh, flat colors, then did the ambient occlusion. I'm using Procreate, by the way. So I did the ambient occlusion, which is basically where two objects meet and then light cannot get into that area in which they meet. And the blending mode I used was multiplier or the multiply mode. Uh, Secondly, I laid down the diffused light. Um, Basically, this is just a subtle light to kind of light the figure in general. And I always use opposite temperature of the figure. So here I see orange, so I'm gonna use something cool like a purple maybe. Um, and then I focus my attention on direct light. Direct light, I kind of bounce back and forth with temperature now. I use something warm. Uh, and basically this is where the light is mostly hitting the surface. And then I did my highlights, and those are particularly warm, um, orange to be exact, to match the color of the jacket of my character here. And lastly, for my lighting, I used sort of a cool purplish, reddish color, just to give her a bit of bounce light. To me, it looks cool. It looks really cool, and it kind of makes it stand out a bit more. And then after that, I kind of focused on my shadows, and that was that really. Um, Next here, we're going to discuss. We're going to essentially discuss how we're going to carve up that pubic bone into something that will um, move in multiple directions, not just laterally on the sides. So here again, you never want to miss the opportunity to study the full form of the figure, or somewhat of the full form. So I did my rib cage and my uh, pelvic region, sort of at the same time, just to get some additional practice in. And I did uh, sort of a quick study for to express the lateral motion of the form of the figure rather. And I really like to start my figures from the very beginning, so from the bones all the way to the skin and the bit of the muscle there. That's why you see her um, from these basic forms all the way to a fully formed figure there. So I start by carving up the cuboid form by essentially putting a cross on my on top of the uh, on the top plane, and then I draw diagonal lines from one point to the other, and then I I sort of follow those lines downward and make really tiny rectangles, and this basically carves out what will be a functional pelvic bone design. And now you see the figures are able to move um, forward and back, left to right, where the legs are able to move forward and back, left to right in multiple directions, like we mentioned earlier. And you see how the this particular design of the pelvic bone, it has 8 subdivisions, and it kind of resembles your tidy whities. um, and or like Superman's underwear or Batman's underwear from back in the day. So yeah, that's pretty much how I do my pelvic bone studies. Um, I find studying the human body this way to be really effective, only because this allows you to not only design your own characters easily, but it also allows you to design other creatures or humanoid creatures. You know, if you understand how form and anatomy works, you can pretty much design whatever you want and draw whatever you want in whatever position you want it in. So mastering this and practicing this is is well advised in my opinion. But with that being said, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys got some value over it. This is my second video, and I am not a good orator speaker. And yeah. All right, take it easy. Bye. I'll be back next week. Bye.